welcome to Japanese from Zero. I'm George Trombley, and this is Ask a Teacher Live, where we take your questions. Instead of what I want to talk about, we talk about what you want to talk about in Japanese, and I do my best to answer them. Today's question is from Patreon subscriber James Calebi, and he says, I'm having trouble understanding what panashi does when you add it to the end of a word. Any help with understanding its usage would be greatly appreciated. And then he goes ahead and gives an example sentence, which we will attack at the very end. So let's look at what we're talking about. We're talking about this panashi ending, okay? It's important to note, though, panashi is not just added to any word. It's added to a verb, always. That alone might help you fix what's happening. The sentence that you have makes it look like it's not a verb, but it is 100% a verb. So for example, let's go with a good verb here. Shaberu. Shaberu. Shaberu means to talk. But it's not the same talk as in like hanasu. It's more like chatter talk or have conversation talk, okay? It can be a slightly negative thing, right? Shaberu, right? But babies, for example, can they talk? Shabereru? Are they, that's what you would say for a baby, to be able to talk. There's cat hair everywhere. There's cat hair everywhere since I did the Yuki broadcast this morning. So shaberu means basically to talk, but it also can mean to chatter. And when you go and convert this is a regular verb, it becomes shaberimasu. If I'm going to give you the quick answer, it's take off the mas from the must form. Okay. How you get to the must form is, was it an iru-eru verb or was it a regular verb and whatnot? And then you add panashi. So if you say shaberi panashi, that means constantly talking. Talk, 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 talk. Right? It is a way to do an ing thing onto the verb, but give it the nuance that just kept on and kept on going. Right? It shows an action that excessively went on. Shaberi panashi. So for example, 今日はライブストリームで喋りっぱなしだった. Today, on my live stream, I was constantly talking. I was talking the whole time. This translation into English can be whatever makes sense into English. The nuance being, man, I just kept going and going and going. All right? Now, yaru. Yaru means to do. Much like suru means to do, but, yaru. Yaru has a more deep, it doesn't have a deep meaning, but if you look up yaru, it can mean, just like in English, to do it can mean to do it. Did you do it with her? That kind of a do it, right? If you're an adult, you know what I'm talking about. So you could say this, 彼女と一晩中やりっぱなしでした. Now, we don't know what they were doing, but with my girlfriend all night long, we were doing it. Whatever that was. Now, I didn't have to say into English constantly. It's not one of those one-to-one translations where panashi equals this. It really is a nuance. So if you say yaripanashi deshita, it just means we were doing it and doing it and doing it. We were going on and on and on. And of course, I think we're talking about some game or something, obviously. We're talking about nothing of adult nature. We might be. But yaru does not always mean that. So this is a very innocent sentence. All right, now let's look at your sentence. Your sentence was, ずっと頼りっぱなしだったことを最近やっと知りました. Now this sentence is a minefield of grammar. There's a lot of grammar in here. Only one thing can screw you up. Just not only one thing, but even just one thing could make this a very hard to understand sentence, right? So let's look at the main verb that we're talking about. Tayoru. Tayoru means to rely on someone. Okay? So if I could say, I might say, tayoru na. Like I could be mad at somebody like, hey, don't just always rely on me to do whatever the thing you want me to do is. Tayoru na. Tayoranai de. Right? Watashi ni tayoranai de. Don't rely on me. I'm not gonna. When you tayoru onto someone, it means that you are having them do something for you that you're not gonna do, right? So we're gonna go back to this sentence and we're gonna break it up. So ずっと頼りっぱなし. Now, ずっと頼りっぱなし really just reinforces this always constantly relying on. ずっと constantly, always, ずっと頼りっぱなし. And the panashi, again, no, there really doesn't have to be any English made for it. It just gives the nuance of this ongoing thing that kept doing and doing and doing and doing, right? ずっと頼りっぱなしだったこと. The fact that, let's say it was a he because we don't know. The fact that he was constantly relying on who we don't know. This is middle conversation. We don't know a lot about what's happening here. We don't know who's doing the relying on. We don't know who the person that he's relying on is. Or if it's even a boy or girl. We don't know. This is middle of the conversation. So, ずっと頼りっぱなしだったこと. The fact that he was constantly always relying on this person. O makes it the object. That whole thing in front is the object. What's the thing that that's being objectified in the sentence is the fact that he was always constantly relying on her, for example. 最近, recently, やっと, finally, 知りました, knew it. Now, in this case, 知る means to know, but in English, it's weird to say, I finally knew that recently, I finally recently knew that he was constantly relying on her, right? Really what it means is found out here. Because you came to know it. 知りました, right? So what this sentence is altogether is, I finally learned or found out recently that he was constantly relying on her. It's not a good thing. Now, it could be that this person was talking about themselves, right? Maybe they realized, oh man, I have been relying. Recently I just realized I've been relying, but I don't think that would be 知りました on that point. If you're talking about yourself, it would be more like 気づきました. I realized, right? 知りました is like I found out. So most likely she's talking about someone. Maybe you can give us some insight in the comments, James Kalebi, as to what this sentence came from. If it's from another book, man. If you'd like to learn more Japanese, this pretty book will be eventually coming out. Japanese from Zero Book 5. But before that comes out, there are 4 other books. You can get it on Amazon or bookdepository.com, where, believe it or not, shipping is free to many weird countries. Weird countries like Italy. Is Italy weird? I don't know. Weird countries like the Philippines. I think we'll even send it to the Philippines from Book Depository. I don't know. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next Ask a Teacher. Those of you in the live stream, stick around. We're going to do something we haven't done before. Maybe I'll never release it if it doesn't go well. But it should be fun. And it might be long, but it's going to be intense for sure. Be right back.